Well, Trump has that unvarnished element, and that's also something that's very appealing to working class people, right? Because he doesn't talk down to people. He's got that gift of spontaneity. You know, he doesn't craft his speeches. And of course, that makes him a bit of a loose cannon, but people like that.
This would be Mr. Trump's first appearance at the Derby in more than 20 years. He was here in 1999 with his then girlfriend and now wife, Melania.
Melania Knaus from New York, from Austria. Hello there, Melania. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Are you here to buy Churchill Downs by chance? Well, I'm certainly looking at it. Certainly beautiful. I can't imagine a better investment.
What happens when a world-renowned psychologist crosses paths with one of the most controversial figures in modern history? Jordan Peterson's unexpected encounter with Donald Trump at the Kentucky Derby reveals more than just a fleeting moment. It's a window into the magnetic charisma, polarizing personality, and unparalleled showmanship that define Trump's presence.
There's a glass cafe above the Kentucky Derby grounds. There's about 150,000 people there. It was the first Derby after COVID. Like the whole crowd of 150,000 people, plus the 300 or so in this restaurant, they all knew Trump was going to show up in the afternoon. It was like... It was like being in Rome.
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius.
I imagine, or being around the Kennedys back in the 1960s, like the place was just buzzing.
Jordan B. Peterson's brief encounter with Donald Trump at the Kentucky Derby offered him a unique glimpse into the magnetic force of Trump's celebrity. In recounting the event, Peterson described an atmosphere almost electric with anticipation and attention, an aura that seemed to orbit Trump wherever he went. For Peterson, this level of fame was reminiscent of historical figures like the Kennedys, individuals whose charisma could galvanize a room simply by walking into it.
They are inviting people to attend, quote, with special guest President Donald Trump. The price to attend, $75,000 per person, $150,000 per couple.
He's so famous. Like, it's just an insane level of fame, right? Because, well, he was a TV star, and that's not an easy thing to pull off, and for quite a while, and he was a real estate magnate, and that's also quite difficult. And then he was president, and ridiculously controversial. Like, he's insanely famous. And you could just feel that that emperor-like worship in the air. In Britain, the Queen bears that. Made it to the Derby like with about 10 minutes to spare before they locked it down. The army was everywhere. The place was just buzzing. And Trump strolled in. And it was like, well, that much fame gives people a tremendous charisma. It's a lot for one person. It's a lot for one person. I think he has a good family, and thank God for that, and he seems to have managed that well. And I know people who know him, and they have faith in him privately.
When I had some surgery in New York years ago, he took me out to dinner the night before. He took my wife out to dinner when we were here in New York, and he's always been I regard him as a good friend.
Trump is, people don't like, but Trump is the man. Trump is the man. He has this fan base, he has his supporters, and they're going to stick with him to the end.
He's that guy. He shows up.
His wife's great, too. Yeah. She's a great lady. He has great kids. There's a lot to be said for Donald Trump. Yeah, there's a lot, you know. He's a good guy. He is really a good guy. He's not a racist. He's not. He plays to that crowd.
You can really tell a person's true character when they're happy for somebody else's success. Okay? And I think that sense of loyalty and commitment will translate into how he will run this country. And let's be honest, folks, we need somebody who believes in this country, we need somebody who's proud of this country, and who will fight for this country.
Peterson delved deeper into Trump's character, labeling him a bully, albeit with a nuanced perspective. He highlighted Trump's paradoxical mix of sophistication and juvenile antics, particularly in his strategic use of nicknames. Whether calling someone Sleepy Joe or Crooked Hillary, Trump wields these monikers like weapons, reducing his opponents to caricatures in the public's imagination. According to Peterson, this is no mere schoolyard behavior. It's a calculated display of dominance. However, Peterson refrains from passing a one-dimensional judgment. He suggests that this trait, while problematic in some contexts, can be politically advantageous. In the brutal arena of American politics, Trump's bulldog resilience and sharp tongue may serve as both a sword and shield.
He's a bully, and a very good one. He's an unbelievably sophisticated 13-year-old bully.
Interesting.
Like, his ability to wield a nickname is unparalleled. He's great. He's great at that. And that's a real superpower, although, and it's a mixed blessing because he's a 13-year-old bully. You know, I'm not trying to reduce him. Being a 13-year-old bully is kind of handy when you're dealing with the dictator of North Korea. You know, you want that kind of playground unpredictability. It's like, don't fuck with me. You don't know what I'm capable of.
The United States has great strength and patience, but if it is forced to defend itself or its allies, we will have no choice but to totally destroy North Korea. Rocket Man is on a suicide mission for himself.
Let this serve as a warning, he tweeted, that if Iran strikes any Americans or American assets, we have targeted 52 Iranian sites, some at a very high level and important to Iran and the Iranian culture.
You know, and a more sensible person, you could argue, hasn't got that. There's that trickster, disagreeable trickster element to Trump that also gives him that vicious sense of humor. He's insanely funny.
Oh, he is.
I have a book, which I love. It's a library edition, beautiful volume called The Collected Poetry of Donald Trump. And it's all his tweets typeset beautifully. And they're hilarious.
They are.
Like, he's got a barbed tongue, man.
Yeah.
He's a viper.
Why not? Come on in. We're stupid, we'll take care of you, we'll pay. Get sick, we'll take care of your hospitalization. What kind of a plan do you want?
Oh, Don, you're a little controversial. You're talking about illegal immigration. I said it's illegal.
The premiums are going through the roof. The deductibles, frankly, you have to get hit with a Komatsu tractor in order to use them. They're so high.
So what I'm going to do is span out. Show them the crowd, press. Show them the crowd. Show them the crowd. Look, they're not turning the cameras. It's a massive plant, one of the biggest in the world. They're going to make all these cars, trucks, and parts. They're even making parts. It's so big, they'll make the parts, the trucks. And I actually gave them a good idea. Why don't we just let the illegals drive the cars and trucks right in through the border? They don't have to even, it's true.
You don't do what Trump's done and be stupid.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, so I have a friend for whom he built a multi-million-dollar building in Chicago. And he finished it below cost and on time. Well, there's no more corrupt industry than construction, especially in Chicago or New York. Well, Trump played that successfully, and he built those buildings. You know, and my friend told me that Trump was there every week, walking through the building, checking things out, you know. And he was successful at that. And then he was a reality TV star for a long time. That's not easy. So he's got that showman element that's really integral to American culture.
Yeah.
Well, Trump has that unvarnished element, and that's also something that's very appealing to working class people, right? Because he doesn't talk down to people. He's got that gift of spontaneity. You know, he doesn't craft his speeches. And of course, that makes him a bit of a loose cannon, but people like that for the same reason they like these long form discussions. It's like, well, we know you might be deceiving us, but not in a practiced and calculating way, right?
Yeah.
You know, maybe some of your personality flaws are leaking through, but at least that's kind of like honest deception. I thought when Trump won, I thought, well, they preferred the spontaneous lies of Trump to the calculated lies of Hillary. You know, and that's very cynical, but there's something about it that's accurate.
And I will build an iron dome over our country, a state-of-the-art missile defense shield made in the USA. We do it for other countries. We help other countries. We don't do it for ourselves. We need it too.
Let's not forget.
No wars on Trump's watch. Right. He got no credit for that. That's a big deal. We've had plenty of wars in the interim. And God only knows if we're in the middle of World War III. We certainly could be.
Right.
Right. And God only knows where it's going. And then the next thing is Trump managed the Abraham Accords. Yeah, well, he should have got a Nobel Peace Prize for that. Obviously. It was the biggest move forward to peace. It's even held through the Hamas crisis. It's a bloody miracle. You know, and if Biden would have had an ounce of integrity on the foreign policy front, he would have rewarded Trump for the Abraham Accords. Maybe Trump would have just rode off into the sunset if he would have got some due credit. And they would have brought Saudi Arabia into the fold because that was on the table. I know that for a fact.
Thanks for watching. Are you excited about Trump's victory? Or do you have mixed feelings about what's next? Let us know in the comments below. See you in the next video.